Happiness is a 10-pounder. No arguments there, right, gang? Good morning, guys and girls. September 29, we do have fall in the air, absolutely, and I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I am having a great time as the weather begins to cool down. The fish are biting, the animals are moving, and they're enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I hope you are too. Matthew 5:12, rejoice. This is Jesus talking. Matthew 5:12, rejoice and be glad because you have a great reward waiting for you in heaven. Yes, sir. Rejoice and be glad because you have a great reward waiting for you in heaven. Happiness is a 10-pounder. Yes, indeed. In fact, for me, it doesn't need to be nearly that large to put a big smile on my face and a pucker on my lips. I've heard so many fish stories, and most fish stories end with, I finally caught that really big fish, a fish of a lifetime. Today we call it a PB. We're so cool nowadays, we don't call it a fish of a lifetime. We call it a PB, personal best. Caught my PB, personal best. What God has waiting for us should keep our bobber of happiness and joy floating high at all times. Jesus says it's a great reward, and he ought to know. He came from heaven. Jesus came from heaven. He's there right now, waiting for you and me to show up. He told us this in advance so we'd have something to really look forward to when times get tough here on earth. And nobody will disagree. 2020's been a tough one for most of us. Some people have done better in 2020 than ever. But for the most part, everybody's had a little struggle this year, and we're looking forward to what 2021 is going to be. I'm looking forward to the rest of 2020. When your bobber starts to sink a little, set the hook and think about that reward that Jesus has waiting for you. Jesus has waiting for me. I'm telling you what, I guess when things get bad, just think about heaven. Just think about heaven. We can't imagine, we can't even begin to think, we can't realize, we can't really explain it, but just think about it. The streets are paved with gold. And nowadays, floors and houses and in shop buildings and stuff have heat in there where you can walk around barefoot and your floor's warm in the wintertime. That's pretty cool. I wish I had that in my house. I don't. But you actually have heated floors. And I got thinking about one time about streets of gold in heaven, walking those streets of gold. I suppose we'll all run around barefooted. That'd be kind of cool. If we had shoes, they wouldn't wear out. You remember in the children of Israel, when they were in the desert for 40 years, their shoes didn't wear out. So if we have shoes in heaven, they'll probably be kind of cool. I know some of you girls are thinking, if I have shoes in heaven, I'm going to have like 500 pair, like what you have nowadays, some of you. But I think we might all run around barefooted, and I think those streets of gold are probably going to be warm on our feet. Everything's going to be perfect. Think about that for a second. Everything is going to be perfect. You look out there, to me, that's heaven on earth. That's heaven on earth. I think we'll look out there in heaven, real heaven, see something even better than that. Probably even have a lot more fish in it than that does. When your bobber starts to sink a little, set the hook. Think about that reward that Jesus has waiting in heaven. All right, let's look at our tip this week. This is a great tip. It's the fall of the year. Troll points with a hot spot or a deep diving crankbait to locate fish. Troll points to locate fish this time of the year. The fall of the year is a great time for all kinds of baits. We catch them on top waters really well. We catch them on spinner baits exceptionally well. But most of the people seem to think about crankbaits in the fall. This is one of the time of the year where you can get on ripraps, you can fish them around the points, you can fish them just in a lot of places and catch fish on a crankbait. But one good way to locate those fish is to just get around points and troll. And what you want to do, let's say this is a point sticking out in the water right here. You got this point sticking out in the water. So what you want to do is you want to troll back and forth a couple of times, throw down and up. Then you want to troll around the point. Start and you come around the point. Let's say this is going back up into the pocket. You want to troll around that point. Have a marker buoy handy, either that or I think a marker buoy is even better, but either that or as soon as you catch a fish, either you or your partner reach down and hit that mark on your fish locator so you can have that waypoint mark where you caught that fish. And kind of have in mind how far your lure is back behind the boat when you're trolling. You tournament fishermen, I know what you're saying. There are no trolling in tournaments. Brent Chapman, there is no trolling in tournaments. But you can troll in practice, tournament practice. You can troll to locate fish. And so trolling with a crankbait or a rattlebait is a great thing to do this time of the year. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. If you need a Catch of the Day book, give us a call at our office, 918-457-5115. I am writing another one right now. I've got a lot of them written right now. I've got a lot of them still to go. But I'm getting closer to the halfway point than, closer than I was a few days ago. But I'm still a long way to go to get it written. But give our office a call, area code 918-457-5115. I'll even pay the shipping and handling. If you want this book signed and personalized, be sure and tell them that. They can't read your mind. So, we got a new Catch of the Day book. We may not be named this, maybe named something differently. We've got several titles in mind. But we'll have that out about this time next year, hopefully for Christmas, and to start 2022. We're already looking forward to 2022, and we're still in 2020. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today, and remember, I sure do love you.